how to create good habits as well as how to break bad habits. First step to creating a habit or breaking one. Will it better you or others in life? Always keep your eye and mind set on the end goal. Nails are long except for these 2 pointers. It's a process, guys. It's a process. Are you going to be willing to not give up on yourself? That's it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Kristen. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. For today's video, we are going to be talking about how to create good habits as well as how to break bad habits. First off, it can take a different amount of time to achieve a habit depending on what it is, whether that's creating a good habit or breaking a bad habit. Also depending on how much we want it and the motivation and reasoning we have behind it. A typical habit is anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks that you really have to be determined and have a lot of self-discipline in it, and then it will really become a formed habit that you don't have to try so hard to do, and it just becomes a natural thing that you do in life without thinking too hard about it. However, there are ones. One for me took extreme self-discipline, determination. I was working on it for a year and I'm still not fully there, but I'm a lot further along. Some of them you really have to stick with it, and it just depends on how much you care about it and how willing you are to have self-discipline no matter how long it takes. So do not give up. The other thing to remember is sometimes it takes making a new habit to break an old habit, or the other way around. You have to break an old habit in order to make a new habit. A habit can be really good or really bad depending on what it is. You need to ask yourself, are you wanting to make a good new habit, or are you wanting to break a bad habit that you currently have that you've been dealing with? So the first step to creating a habit or breaking one is start with one big thing and one small thing. Something that you would like to do in the future with ease and no procrastination, or maybe withholding from something without having a battle in your mind about it how you previously would have. So I'll give you an example. My small habit that I started was not letting the dishes pile up. So it honestly took not even a week for me to have that habit, and I genuinely can say I have not been letting the dishes pile up. I just don't leave the kitchen if there's more than 4 dishes in the sink, even if it's 4 things of silverware. I'll just quickly do it. It takes me literally only 1 or 2 minutes. And yeah, I'm washing dishes 5 to 6 times a day. But since I told myself I want to make this a habit and start this, the dishes have not been piled up. Our sink has been clean and nice all the time, and it's just really refreshing, and I have just grown in that aspect of self-discipline, and that's really nice to be able to look back on. But it was such a simple, easy thing. Basically, all it took was a little bit of self-discipline, knowing my motivation behind it, which was not having to look at piled up dishes, and my reasoning and why it was worth it. And then I would say a bad habit that I have finally started to overcome a little bit is biting my nails. I would bite my nails so bad that they would bleed, the tips of my fingers would be swollen. I would even bite them in my sleep and wake up with my fingers hurting. It was really bad, and I've done that my whole entire life. So now being 20 years old, fed up with it and trying to break it, it took a long time, and I still fail sometimes, but I definitely learned things to implement and take out of my life in order to break that bad habit. I'm definitely so glad for all the things I implemented and the self-discipline I had to finally get through it. And every now and then it will spike back up when I'll start to chew on my nails, and it makes me pretty frustrated at myself, and I get pretty scared that I'm going to fall back into the slump and have to try to get out of it for another year. The minute that it clicks in my head, oh no, I need to stop this again, it's a lot easier to quit again. So number 2, find your why behind it. Find your reasoning. Why are you breaking or creating that bad or good habit? Will it better you or others in life? Will it glorify God? Is it going to grow you and strengthen you in life? What's the reasoning behind it? Or is it just simply going to teach you self-discipline, which that alone is enough? Number 3 is to give yourself motivation and incentive behind it. For me, after accomplishing a goal or creating a habit, it's always very rewarding to get to look back and see where you were, whether that's a week later or a month later or a year later. It's very rewarding to look back at your hard work and see that you actually overcame something or created a good thing that you didn't have in your life before. So that is a lot of motivation for me. Some incentives that I have, as far as biting my nails, I loved going to the nail salon before. You would have to do like the extensions or whatever. I've actually only ever gone to the nail salon, I think 3 times in my life. It wasn't a common thing, but when I did go, I absolutely loved it. I told myself that when I officially like stop biting my nails to where I can easily go months without biting my nails and it's no longer a problem for me, that I would allow myself to go get my nails done once a month or whatever if I could stay on top of it. After growing out my nails, I actually have no desire to go to the nail salon. I love doing my nails from home. I have like a cheap $25 Amazon gel kit and it works great and it's really fun and I enjoy it. But using that incentive just to get me through it worked, and I haven't been to the nail salon since, so that's kind of nice. My incentive for washing the dishes was mainly the fact that every morning when I would wake up and the sink would be full of dishes, it instantly put a damper on my morning, a disappointed feeling in myself. It just made me feel unaccomplished and kind of gross, put this laziness reminder in me that I am not keeping up with my house how I should be. And that's just not where I wanted my head to go first thing in the morning when I go to get my cup of coffee and do devotions. Seeing that the sink is always clean and the dishes are on the drying rack and there's very few because they get put away all the time. It's just really nice and refreshing. It was a small habit and it's a small incentive, but it was nice. The fourth thing is think on the end goal. Think about how great it will be and how rewarding it will be to look back on it. Try not to think in the moment when you are struggling with it. That's really the hardest time, and that is when you need the most self-discipline and motivation to get through it. Always keep your eye and mind set on the end goal. Do not think about how tired you are, how much you don't feel like doing it, how many other things you would rather be doing at that time, how you don't feel motivated or discouraged, how you just want to give up, how you didn't do good the other day, so you might as well just not do good today either. There's so many things that can break us down and stop the habit, but you have to continue on it. You have to be very consistent in order to create a habit. For example, when I tried to create the habit of going to the gym 3 times a week and stretching / movement every single morning, if I skipped one morning of stretching and movement, I would easily forget the next. And then after that, I could go 3 days and I would get so discouraged and frustrated. By not being consistent that one day, it really broke up the whole habit, which was a little easier to get back on track, but it's still the fact that it did break up that cycle of making a habit. So just make sure you are staying very consistent with it. And if you do get off track, do not let that get you down. Don't let that make you give up. I actually started going to the gym, honestly, like 3 to 4 to 5 times a week. I was doing so well with my fitness journey. It was better than any place I've ever been at it in my whole life, and it was very exciting to see that. I was loving it. It was always refreshing. And then I got sick, like very sick. Back to back, different colds, fevers. I was sick for about a month and a half. In between that time, I could not go to the gym. So there was a solid month where I did not go to the gym at all. I could not work out. So once I got better, I felt really down and discouraged because there was nothing I could have done. It wouldn't have been smart for me to go to the gym. I would have never gotten better. Sometimes you need to know when you need to rest and back off, but don't let that get you down. And don't give up because of that. Those are my few tips of how to create a habit. I'm going to tell you bad habits that I have broken and then good habits that I created. I'm just going to tell you these really quickly. If you want further explanation, like how I did it, I would love to do whole videos on that specific topic in case it's a habit that you guys also are trying to break or create. Number 1, habits I've broken. Biting my nails horribly, as well as in my sleep. Going on my phone in bed before sleeping and before getting up. I stopped that and I'm so glad. I finally stopped scrolling on my phone on social media. And the last thing is having lots of sugar at night. I just make sure to have nutritious snacks and healthy snacks. And if I want sugar, I try to do it with fruit and stuff rather than junk food because it really affects my sleep and my mood that night and going into the next day. It's been only about a week and a half and it's actually been incredible. And I do not crave sugar at night anymore, but I used to really badly. Then on to good habits I created. First one is morning stretching and a quick movement, basically like a very fast workout, maybe 5 to 10 minute workout tops. Waking you up for the day just gives me a really good boost of energy for the start of the day. Second one is devos before anything else at all in the morning. Third one is not going to sleep without the house picked up. This is different from being cleaned. It just needs to be picked up. So if there's stuff everywhere, quickly put it where it goes. Obviously, we are having the dishes done now. This is about picking up the house, having it in order. And this just really helps me in the morning to have a very good start to my day. And I do want to say with this one, Dominic helps me pick up the house. It's not just me. It's something that we both know. We're not going to sleep till the house is picked up. So that's kind of a joint habit. I don't want to take that all on myself and saying that I'm doing this by myself, because that would be lying. Fourth one is not going to my phone for entertainment when I am bored or discouraged or anxious to get my thoughts sidetracked. I've been going to much better things, and it's honestly felt life-changing. Fifth one, this one's kind of funny. A lot of people think it's either horrible and gross, or people think it's great and they also do it, which is I only wash my hair once every week to every week and a half. So those are all my habits that I have broken and created. And I do want to say I still have many areas that I want to work on, more habits I want to implement as well as break or even just improve in. There's habits that I know are now a habit, but it still feels a little bit difficult, a little bit hard sometimes. I want to get to the point where I don't even have to think to do it. I am by no means perfect at these habits. There's definitely times when I won't be consistent with it, when I will fall off of track, when I do get discouraged and very down on myself, when I do give up, especially with the nail biting one. Oh my goodness. With having new good habits and less bad habits, my quality of life is so much better. There's definitely always going to be a reward for your work that you put into something, your self-discipline, motivation behind it, your determination. Even if you fail at what you were trying to do, you will still have become a little bit stronger in the aspect of self-discipline. Okay, in conclusion, are you going to be willing to not give up on yourself? Even when, or if you fail 100 times, will you keep trying and pushing yourself and grow in self-discipline? Is it worth it to you? Because if you don't think you can, if you tell yourself you can't, you're not going to be able to. So you need to tell yourself, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to keep myself accountable. I very likely may fail over 100 times, but I'm still going to make myself get back up, get back on track, and keep going. And if anything, I'm going to grow in self-discipline. And then say, yes, it is worth it to me. That's it. That's all I got for my advice and tips and how-tos and strategies where I'm at right now. But through all of this, remember that your strength comes from the Lord and not you. You can always go to God, pray to God for strength to get through these habits or get out of these habits. You don't just have to rely on yourself, which is a really beautiful thing. The other thing is self-discipline and hard work for things that are going to better your life and glorify God. That's a very glorifying thing to God. So even if it doesn't feel worth it to you, if you're only going to get self-discipline out of it, that's not good enough for you. It should be good enough because it's going to glorify God. And that should always be enough for us. And last thing is a podcast that I listened to. This was about a year ago that I listened to it, and this is what really jump-started my habit stacking, self-discipline, got me very interested in it, working on being determined and self-disciplined in forming a better life, working on myself mentally, physically, spiritually, all through God's strength. The podcast is Happy and Healthy by Janine and Mapola, and I'm going to leave that in the description box below. You guys should really listen to it. It's very good. Hopefully it can encourage you and give you a jump start just like it did me. That's all I had to say. I just wanted to add those few last things. And I hope that this can help you be motivated and get going, get onto the track you want to be on, stay determined in it, grow in self-discipline, become a better person, glorifying God in what you're doing. In so many ways, it'll affect you, but also others. If you can't do it for yourself, and you know by creating this good habit or taking away a bad habit will make someone else's life that's in your life easier, then do it for them if you can't do it for yourself. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope this video can help you and benefit you. If you know of anyone that could use tips of how to create or break a bad habit, please share this video with them. Give this video a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. It definitely keeps me motivated. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.